Joining me now for reaction is Garland Nixon, a radio talk show host, and Sean Duffy, a Republican congressman from Wisconsin. Garland, I know you're chomping at the bit. Your reaction?
Well, you know, immediately my first reaction to the vitriol is that it's not good for the country, that it is a bad thing to do. It's bad for the party, and the Democratic Party should be focusing on policy. That being said, I think that the president has to take some credit, that's the right word, for this toxic environment we're in. I think he has lowered the level of discourse. He started off during his campaigning by talking about punching people, beating people. He's called the NFL players SOBs. So I think that this is a rare toxic atmosphere in Washington, D.C., but I think the president has to take a lot of responsibility for it. It wasn't here before him, and he started off with that vile kind of
I think the culture for a while has been in decline. A little long before Trump, whether it's billboards, music lyrics, what we're seeing on the small screen and the big screen, the way we talk to each other online, social media, way before Trump.
So, but listen, I think it's commendable that Garland says he's going to call out the left for this this outrageous behavior. Not many Democrats have done that, so kudos to you for that. The problem is what they do on the left is say, well, Donald Trump uses language we don't like. Okay, I don't like all of Donald Trump's language either. However, he's not shutting down anyone's speech. And in the great debate stage of ideas, liberals can't win. So if you're Milo Yiannopoulos or you're Ben Shapiro and you go to a college campus, they shut down their speech. If you're the IRS, you shut down conservative groups from organizing. If you're Secretary Nielsen, you'll go to her house and shut her down there. If you're actually Peter Strzok, you'll say, I'm going to shut down the will of the American people and an electorate. I'm going to undo it in the FBI. There's a difference in speech versus taking action to shut down speech. I would say if you look at this young lady who yelled F you to the president as you walked into the Capitol
a congressional
last
intern.
week. She has a right to say that. I don't agree with it. She can say it, but this is not a speech issue. The left is engaged in something far different, far more vitriolic. And I think, if I can just make one last point, they tried this in Wisconsin. Remember Act 10 and Scott Walker?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Good point.
They rallied.
Taking over the State House. They were hanging over the rafters.
They were yelling shame. Yeah. They were spitting on it. And guess what? Americans, Wisconsinites,
they don't like it.
Who are these people? They didn't like it. And Scott Walker got more votes in the recall than he did in the first election.
Yeah, I think what we see, though, is the targeting of individuals. This is different. I don't even mind if someone yells. They yell F you. It's like not cool, but people do that. They can lose their temper. It's the targeting of individuals, putting a wanted poster in a neighborhood, telling people to crowd around other people. So you can disagree with Trump. You don't like the travel ban. You don't like the immigration. That's fine. And debate. I have no problem with that. There's interesting debates on both sides. But the targeting, Garland, is what I find to be that's scary. Because when you get crowds of people around an individual in a public, it doesn't matter if a public place, if they feel another person is subhuman, I mean, we saw this in the racist South. People were considered subhuman, and they felt like they could do anything to Black America. And now you get the sense that we're in that really scary place now. That to me is terrifying.
Yeah, well, but I don't feel that there's one side or the other. For instance, I feel
where's Donald Trump telling to crowd around someone and target them? He's not saying that.
No.
He uses crass language sometimes, which I don't like.
Right, and I would agree with you. It's not necessarily one person. He's gone after our allies. He's gone after NFL players. He's gone after Justin Trudeau, and he goes after
Justin Trudeau.
I mean, the guy's the Canadian Prime Minister.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau. I don't think he's gone after him.
But my point being, I think that the president has a lot of responsibility here, and that if he wants things to change, he's the leader. Where the head goes, the body follows. He needs to tone it down.
So you're saying if Donald Trump had zero tolerance at the border, which is enforcing the law on the border, so we don't just release people back into the country, that there wouldn't be these massive protests and the vitriol and what we said on these signs, and you're an inch away from someone's face like they were Pam Bondi down in Florida. You don't think they'd be doing it? I do.
What I'm saying is I think we've gone to a style of politics in Washington, D.C. that is about people instead of policy. So no, it's about attacking the person, attacking the leader of the country, attacking the leader of the party, but there's very little policy being done on Capitol Hill period now.
Okay, I want to play something. Now, this is Keith Ellison, Deputy DNC Chair. He's a Muslim American. He was on CNN today, and he was basically not telling the truth about his ties to another hater, Louis Farrakhan. Let's watch.
You've been decrying President Trump's bigotry. Obviously, you used to follow somebody who continually expressed sexist, anti-LGBTQ, and anti-Semitic bigotry, Louis Farrakhan. You have condemned Farrakhan's bigotry. But
I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that, sir. But I'm sorry.
What are you disagreeing with?
That comes up in this context.
Well, you're decrying bigotry, and Louis Farrakhan is a pretty clear bigot.
Right, and I agree that that's true. Nobody
you were a follower of Farrakhan. You were a follower of Farrakhan, sir.
No, I wasn't. Jake, I'm sorry. That's not true, Jake.
No, it is true. I mean, I give credit to Jake Tapper for that because he actually called him out on this.
For giving him some push and, again, siding with a hate group, a violent group. Laura, I think your angle was absolutely awesome in that this is a debate about the freedom of speech. Can we actually have a political conversation where we disagree with each other? Very difficult issues that we face. We should all be able to have a conversation and disagree, and we should actually vote, whether it's a bill in Congress or it's an election. We debate, we argue, and then we vote. That's what we do, but we don't shut down speech. I mean, the college campus front is so outrageous that we can't bring conservative speakers to campus because the left is so unhinged that they know they can't win the debate with a conservative Ben Shapiro. This has gone too far.
I also I've got to say, the people that they're targeting are like these horrible. I mean, they all are like these small guys. I mean, they're little guys, like innocuous.
Ben
Shapiro's like this, and Stephen Miller he's like some hulking threat.
But
I mean, come on, he's like a nerdy guy. Sorry, Stephen, but you're like a nerdy, like conservative guy. Like,
and I think what's being missed here, you know, I was just looking at the results today with Representative Crowley. The other part that's being missed here is that even within the Democratic Party, there's the same debate because the Bernie people, which is the clique that I fall into, are saying some of the same things about the resistance, saying we've got to go
Bernie
away
doesn't believe that.
So we've got to go away from just saying Russia, 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 and I hate Trump, and to get to some policies, and that he's
an old-fashioned liberal. He's more of an old-fashioned liberal.
Believe it or not, some of the things that you guys are saying right here are some of the very same things that the Bernie people are saying to the resistance.
Or I said it on air. I can't remember. I'm so tired. I didn't like it when the president said, "Get your asses out," sorry, and vote. You don't have to say that. I know that's like a little
I don't like
thing.
when he said he was going to punch people in the face.
But he said that was one time. And it's not, I don't like that either.
But here's the difference. We called him out when he said that.
Yeah, but I said, I don't like that word. I don't like that word being used. Sorry. I mean, not to say I'm not perfect on that score, but I just like, you don't have to, you can just make your point in a different way. And he's winning on the substance. I'm sorry, but he's winning on the economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's winning on trade. There's pushback in the Republican Party. I think he's winning on that. Maybe have progress in North Korea. He's winning. He doesn't need. You don't need to go personal.
The Harley-Davidson workers actually support President Trump in his effort on trade. They came out today.
Well, they're going to have a lot of time to support him because
a lot of Democrats support him on trade. I give him credit on that.
I think the point when you see Steve Scalise shot on the baseball field, or
someone is going to get hurt here.
Kustoff was run off the road, a congressman from Tennessee. Death threats are increasing to offices like mine and other members of Congress. This is going too far. We need to take the temperature down, and it's leaders on both sides. Democrat leaders, Republican leaders. Take it down. Don't support people when they incent and prevent violence.
Let's not forget all the gun references with Gabby Gifford was shot and all of the.
Oh yeah, well the left went crazy on the so-called targeting that Sarah Palin had on her website. So I mean, I think everybody's got to acknowledge the culture. It drifts downward and it goes into politics and it goes into our kids' minds. And all of us, I said this last night, all of us have to do better, including yours truly. I appreciate both of you. It's awesome to have you on. And now